Welcome to the Imperium Forex daily video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. The silver outlook still remains relatively bullish, however I am a little bit cautious due to the histogram from the MACD. At this current stage, the support holds at 45. So really, from where we are at the moment at 60, we're pretty much in the middle of the range for the start of this week, with the parameters holding at 1645 to 1685. Now, as I mentioned, the histogram is a little bit on the softer side from the MACD, which could see, for the start of this week, a slight decline towards that 45 support, with the bull camp still holding at $16.30. After the early last week, we saw the market plummet towards that region and clearly rejects from that level and went straight to challenge that 80-85 level. If we see a break of 45, as I mentioned, then we could see that this decline towards 1630. However, I still feel the market will eventually retest that top side of 1618.85, and beyond there, if breached, would see a move towards $17.15. Well, the gold outlook is actually softened a little bit from the close of New York on Friday, as bargain hunters are likely to re-emerge towards the support of 38. Now, as long as the support holds at 1,231 to 33, then I am still looking for the market to challenge the top side, the immediate resistance coming in at 47, and firmer above at 52 to 53, with a cap now serving at 12.59 to 61. The only concern I have is with the histogram, also with the MACD, like silver, is the fact it still portrays a slightly softer view. However, the market would need to take out that 12.31 level to get the exposure towards a target of 12.15. But this looks unlikely at this stage. Well, the Australian bulls still appear to be challenging this top side of 77 handle. After recording a high on Friday of 77.11, the market did reject from the near 4-month high. However, still poses a threat to this week. We have quite a lot of data out for the week for the Australian dollar. We've got the Australian retail sales and also the RBA monetary policy decision. It is viewed that the market will hold to a 1.5%, but the wild card will be what the statement says afterwards. It was recently noted that ex-RBA board member John Edwards, he commented on the fact that there could be in the next coming 2018-19 of a possible up to 8 tightenings. This actually has stirred the market slightly for the Australian dollar. However, for today we've got the Cajun PMI manufacturing, so we should keep an eye on that. Any advances towards 77.0540 should again find supply, and we do now need to see the market take out the 76.50 support to get the next target of 76.1525 and reassess from there. Well, the euro still maintaining its bullish stance as the US dollar falls to a 40-week low of 95.22 on the index after taking out the 95.85 support, which was the level seen when President Donald Trump took the Oval House. Other concerns for this week is that Trump said over the weekend that the era of the strategic patience with the Northern Korea regime has failed, and frankly the patience is over. This may put further stress on the US dollar. Now looking towards the top side for the euro, however, the market now sees a resistance at 114.85. A break above there would give further exposure to the upside, but for the bullish trader, do be on the cautious side, as above that level you can see over the period of 2 years the market stabbed 3 times above that level and failed to sustain where I've highlighted. So we could get a rejection from there and look back towards the downside. Now we need to see a break of 113.6570 to support further weakness and bring in a target of 112.90 to 112.2025. And on the flip side, we still need to see a US dollar recovery as well. So for the start of this week, we may see further pressure towards the top side, as I mentioned, with immediate resistance seen at 114.85. Well, dollar yen, since the rejection from 112.60, did recently pull back on Friday to print a low of 111.71 before staging a recovery. In light of the technical pattern, I still feel the market will test back towards the downside and could, for the start of this week, see the lows around 111.30-35. Now, that being said, dollar yen is seen as a safe haven currency, and if the political uncertainty heats up between the two sides of North Korea and the US, then we could see a move towards the top side beyond 112.60 and look towards 113.60 to 114.35. So do take a note if we see a break above 112.60 that we could get a further rally. But my preferred side from the technical point still holds towards 11.70 to 11.30.35. A couple of things to note with the sterling pattern here is that although the market's been very bullish, as you can see here from the candles, the volume has actually slackened off, and as the market looks towards that 130.45, could soon see a rejection. Now, looking towards the top side above 130.45, the resistance comes in at 131.35 to 131.85. Those targets I feel are unlikely to be reached due to the fact that the volume is dropping as the rally is continuing. However, the technical implications hasn't fully turned to support a bearish view, so we would probably need to see some kind of rejection that we saw back here in May to get the move towards the downside, a target of 129.45.50. A break beneath there would give further scope to the downside and possibly bring in a target of 127.70.85. Two things to note is over the weekend, the Prime Minister Theresa May ratings slumped further after last month's general election. A new poll is showing 61% of voters now view her in a more negative light. And the other thing to take into consideration is that the Bank of England, Mark Carney comments added that a move up in interest rates is likely if wages and growth gather further traction. So there is a little bit of a mixed bag of scenarios coming out of the pound, mainly from the fundamental side, with concerns of Theresa May as Prime Minister and also from the Bank of England. However, the only thing I can just to add to that is if the volume is decreasing as the market is climbing, then I do expect to see a bearish move very, very soon. So that wraps up my daily video. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day and a great start to the week.